Hey everybody, what's for dinner tonight? I had decided tonight I'm going to make, it's crab stuffed baked potatoes. This recipe I got out of a cookbook. One of the things that I've always done when I travel, I buy cookbooks, different places I go, and way back in 1986, we went to Pawleys Island in North Carolina, and I bought a Catch of the Day cookbook there, and this recipe was in it. I've changed it up a little bit, but that's what we're gonna make tonight. I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. And I've already washed and cleaned my baked potatoes. And what we're going to do, and I've kind of put a little bit of olive oil, not much, but I put a little bit on the skin. And I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and salt the skins so the skins have some flavor. And then we're going to put them in the oven, not in foil, because we want them, when they cook, we want the skins to get hard and crunchy, because we're going to cut them in half and scoop out the insides and add everything to it, and then reheat them up, cook them a little longer after we've added everything, and then stuff it back again. So I'll show you what we're doing. I've already put a very light olive oil on it, and I'm going to just rub it, some of this. And another option you can do, a lot of people do it with butter. I just did olive oil. And like I said, I'm not putting a lot on. I'm just getting it a little bit, just to get a little flavor on the skins. And I've cleaned and cut out the bad spots on it. That's what you're seeing. So that's all I'm going to do, and I'm going to put them in the oven. And we're going to cook them until the inside is soft. Get all of them in there. And now we just wait for them to get done. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to go ahead and get the stuffing ready. It'll take a while for them to cook, but we'll be prepared that way. So we're putting a stick of butter in the mix. You can use electric mixer or the KitchenAid, and a half of a cup of sour cream. And I actually have a little more, but I don't think you can go wrong with that. There was actually some air pockets in it anyways, too. And then it's a half a cup of cheese, which is half of a bag. And it's whatever cheese of your choice. And I'm using very sharp cheese. And then I'm gonna, in my recipe, the way I'm gonna do it, I improvise things. I'm gonna use green onions. The recipe calls for just regular onions, but I like the idea of using the scallions with the green tops for the baked potatoes. So we're going to cut these up, and then we're going to put those in there, and we're going to and some salt and pepper and paprika. Okay. And then we're going to put some paprika in. Put about 3 teaspoons of it. This is a smoky paprika. I don't even know that I'm going to put a whole 3 in. I'm going to I didn't perfectly measure 3. But that's teaspoons. And then we're going to add salt and pepper. Hopefully I didn't do too much pepper there. And we're going to mix it up. The crab meat will be the last thing that we do, and I'll break that up, but I'll just wait on that. Now on the crab meat, I'm using imitation crab meat. Real crab meat, and if you're by the ocean, but if real crab meat would be better. I just didn't have that opportunity to get any, so I'm using the imitation crab meat, which will also be very good. But real is always the best. See how that paprika kind of gave you the redness in it? It kind of changed the color up a little bit. Okay, we'll just wait now. Okay, they're all ready. Soft in the middle, and you can tell the skin is crunchy because it wasn't covered in foil, and you can kind of hear that. I told you 400, but I went ahead and turned the oven up to 450 to cook the potatoes quicker. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one down the middle. Probably better I'm just kind of trying to speed things up a bit, but it's probably better to let the potatoes cool off a little bit just because they're easier to handle. But I'm gonna go ahead and do these to get them in. So we're gonna cut them in half. I'm gonna cut it around the edges so that, because I'm trying to keep the skin intact. So when I put them all back in, they're all together. We're gonna put it all in here because we're gonna mix all of this together. And it's okay to leave some in there because it kind of helps keep the whole skin together. And cut this one out. Making some, probably could do that with a butter knife. That's what made it easier to cut it, just to cut some X's in the middle of it to get the insides out. It's as simple as that. When you cut X's in it, it kind of helps them come out easier. Put all of this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out a cookie sheet. I put foil in a cookie sheet just to keep it all cleaner. Now I've got all of this in here and I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna stir this kind of around a little bit and I'm gonna mix all of this together on low speed. It's gonna take about a minute to mix it all because it's also gonna melt the butter and the cheese in it. I'm gonna get a spatula. I'm gonna push it down a little bit. See how it's looking? Just gonna push it. Make sure it's all mixed in, which it all looks mixed in to me. Okay, so we are going to take this and put them back in. I'm gonna put these on the cookie sheet so that makes it a little quicker and easier. Oh, and I gotta mix the crab meat into that. So I've got a cup of crab meat. Get all the little excess off of here. Don't want to miss anything. Okay, then you're just going to pour in the crab meat and gently mix it all in. So once it's all mixed in, I'm going to take a big spoon, just spoon it in. I'm just going to use the spoon that I took it out with, and we're going to mix it, put it all back in. I'm just going to put some in each and then go back and even it out. So I'll make sure I have some for all of them. Go ahead and fix. You know, we used to make baked potatoes like this, just not with crab meat and not with the paprika, but just twice baked twice baked potatoes like this, and it just mixes it all together really well. So this is just another added touch to that, adding the crab meat and paprika to it. Paprika gives it some different little color here. I'm just going to top it all off now because I still have a lot. This one, the skin kind of fell apart a little bit, but that's okay if it does that. You can kind of press it all back together. And this one, just filling in. That one needs a lot around the edges, but we still have quite a bit. And you want it to be heaping over. That kind of makes it. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to add a little sprinkle some salt on top. And the recipe calls for more paprika on the top, but it looks like there's a lot of paprika to me. And then we're going to put them back in the oven. I'll go ahead and add a little paprika since it calls for it on top. It's really just to make it look cute, pretty. Well, I'm trying to make it come out with it where it just sprinkles there. Okay. Now, let's put these in the oven. Get this off my finger. We're only going to put these back in the oven for about 10 or 15 minutes to let it all cook together and melt together. And that's it. Okay. They look ready to me. See, they're a little crusty on top. And I did them when they were hot, so they are already melted inside it. So that is it. The crab stuffed potatoes with all the fixings. I hope that you enjoy it. I know this is going to be scrumptious. It's going to be my supper tonight. Thank you for watching. I hope that you try this one. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye.